bro. This is gonna be so boring. more lap. On. This is pretty boring.
Protesters say
To Neil deGrasse Tyson is an unscientific. Glad to be with you. This the mic seemed higher. Did you sit here?
No, I think on Thursday you were kind of messing with your chair.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm still a little hazy because they had to refinish the wood floors from water damage, so the fumes.
Ah, yes.
Don't worry, everyone's okay.
High as a kite.
Joe Lewis immediately threw up. I said, "Okay, that's it. You're going to Grandma and Grandpa's," and had to go to a hotel.
Yeah.
Because it's immediate headache. But glad to be here. It's a busy Monday, and by that I mean it's a slow news day, which means it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A couple things we're going to get to. Neil deGrasse Tyson is an unscientific bitch. If you didn't know that.
Already.
And we're
What's that noise?
Hey, what is that noise,
Cut
guys?
that out. Just.
Oh no. Oh no. 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 Oh man. No. Brother.
Yeah, come on. And I wanted to touch on this. I touched on it last week. Joe Rogan then discussed it. There is a moment where the left switched from Code Pink, anti-war everything, to where they are now, right? Ukraine, Russia. And their justification is very specific. It doesn't really hold water. Comment below before we get to that segment why you think that is. If you notice the switch, we were at a Christmas ceremony this in a community this week, which will go unnamed.
A
and
ceremony?
It's like a lighting in
Where
the
they
town
sacrifice the
square.
baby Jesus?
It's
Goodness.
like a lighting in the town square, and they're supposed to do Christmas carols, and they had people come out with lesbian haircuts, playing trash cans, singing about saving the planet, and actually inspired from Africa, even though they were entirely white, breakdancing. And then they held up the peace sign.
Was it ray gun?
And I said, you don't get to do that. Hey, left, you don't get to do this anymore. The most peaceful president ever in our lifetime, you don't get to do the peace symbol. You voted for war. Hit the like button if you agree with that. And at some point today, you will also see, I guarantee you this, if you're watching on YouTube. Head on over to Rumble. There was a lot of crossover with this thing. I just want to keep Cool Man on his toes.
Tim's like, oh, come on.
All right.
Captain Morgan, how are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Yeah, the fumes have dissipated.
Was the mattress okay? Yes. So? Sometimes that can really throw you off. It can. Not just you, I mean, in general.
It can. Yes, it can. The fabric softener can too.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, you think it's bed bugs, and there's a lawsuit, and then it turns out you're the one who's in the wrong. And when you hear this, you know, on the 11th Friday, Saturday, December 27th and 28th, at the Tacoma Comedy Club in, Tacoma. Mr. Firestein, how are you?
I'm good. I had a similar experience to your performance. I was at Six Flags yesterday with my family, and they had some dancing. If you work at Six Flags, I'm sorry. But there were some dancers doing a little performance, and my son wanted to dance. So oh man, all the fatties. I felt like a salty man. It was just a bunch of fat. They had little mics too, so it was like,
Oh, they
it was
can't
like,
get away from it.
Yeah, it was like Jingle Bell, rocking around for Christmas.
They bring out chairs for them to sit in. Just sit here and sing, ladies.
At some point, I was like, "You're gonna bring my son up."
People, and I yelled out, no, it doesn't. She goes, for me, it's being free and she's white. For me, it's being free to love who you want to love, free to be who you want to be, and as long as it's love, it's okay with me. I said, a lot of freedom in Africa. Right.
Drug lords,
Yes,
warlords,
exactly.
Oh, you
slavery.
mean the rest of the planet raping and pillaging and keeping it from being Wakanda?
Yes, exactly.
To avoid the UN raping people.
Come on.
I'm freedom now.
Come on. Wakanda, they had plasma spears and
did.
Teslas. None of
Yeah.
that made sense, and I'm sorry, you
It made
cannot change
sense.
my mind.
You just don't get it.
Crap.
You just
no.
don't get it, dude.
Well, here's someone who gets it. The character of Billy Bob Thornton in
Yes.
this new series, Landman. This is.
Not like a superhero.
It's one of the best rants in television. They have to kind of soften it, but right now it's time for the entertainment. So it's the new show. I think it's called Landman.
Yeah.
And
Is that like a spin-off of Captain Planet?
yeah, well, Taylor Sheridan does like Yellowstone and all that. And I don't know if you guys are. I tuned into Yellowstone. I watched like 3 episodes ago. It's a soap opera, so it's not
okay.
really for me. I'm like, it's a soap opera kind of on a range. And I was expecting something more Western, but this rant from Billy Bob Thornton, I'm going to play it for you, and they have to walk it back a little bit and try and make it seem like fossil fuels are killing the planet. But in 90 seconds, very effectively, and I'll substantiate it after you watch this.
I just lost the clip.
You just lost the clip.
Yeah, I accidentally removed it.
What did you do? Okay, so first off, let me set this up. Forgive the quality of the clip because Paramount will have us removed if we run the original, so it's going to be a little bit grainy. But in 90 seconds, Billy Bob Thornton's character really does sort of deconstruct climate policy as effectively as I have seen it done, minus a couple of caveats. Toolman, do you have that?
Almost.
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 All right. All right.
You had 1,000 jobs.
9,
Here we go.
8, and here is Billy Bob Thornton. 90 seconds, the best you'll see on TV in recent memory from Landman.
Please, Mr. Lawman, tell me how the wind is bad for you.
All right, Rich.
Do you have any idea how much diesel they have to burn to mix that much concrete and make that steel and haul this shit out here and put it together with a 450-foot crane? Do you want to guess how much oil it takes to lubricate that thing or winterize it? And its 20-year lifespan, it won't offset the carbon footprint of making it. And don't get me started on solar panels and the lithium in your Tesla battery. And never mind the fact that If the whole world decided to go electric tomorrow, we don't have the transmission lines to get the electricity to the cities. It'd take 30 years if we started tomorrow. And unfortunately for your grandkids, we have a 120-year petroleum-based infrastructure. Our whole lives depend on it. And hell, it's in everything. That road we came in on, the wheels on every car ever made, including yours, it's in tennis rackets and lipstick and refrigerators and antihistamines, pretty much anything plastic, your cell phone case, artificial heart valves, any kind of clothing that's not made with animal or plant fibers, soap, and hand lotion, garbage bags, fishing boats, you name it. Every thing. And you know what the kicker is? We're going to run out of it before we find its replacement.
It's the thing that's gonna kill us all. As a species.
No, the thing that's going to kill us all is running out before we find an alternative.
So here's the thing. They always have to walk it back a little bit. Everything else that he said there was correct about petroleum products. When he said running out, comment below if you're under the age of 30. You may not know this because they sort of abandoned this term. But when we were raised, we always heard the term peak oil.
Oh, yeah.
Peak oil, peak oil, peak oil. That meant we were going to hit peak oil and then run out. To give you an idea, we have been told this. It's been predicted specifically. Peak oil. Reference available. You can check the link in the sidebar. 1909 was going to be peak oil. Then we were told peak oil would be the 1930s. Then specifically 1943, 1971, the 1990s, 2000, then 2020. And if you look at the graph, for some reason we end up with more oil, natural gas, because we have new methods like fracking, offshore drilling, right? More effective methods. We discover new giant springs that exist of oil. So he's wrong about that one thing. But here's something else, too, that people need to take into consideration if you add to it. The first sort of giant leap forward in human civilization. Fire. Being able to make fire. And I'm not joking. Being able to make fire. You can now cook meat. You now can actually not just
Warm
have to
yourself.
worry, you can actually warm yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's what advanced human civilization. And then a huge leap was, of course, refrigeration. But you guys now remember, okay, if you get rid of oil, do you know why oil was chosen? This is before, by the way, cars. We were burning whale fat. You needed something that could make fire more effective. And so, all these cosmetics, was whale blubber, right? Would you want to go back to whaling? Well, as you have fire, you advance, but that's so important to human civilization is really just combustion energy, and oil is the most effective way to do that. And by the way, we're not running out. So that's why you have it in everything as far as petroleum products. If it wasn't that, it would be something else. You can't only do it through hemp.
Come on, you can't do that. But in 20 years, it won't even offset the carbon footprint it took to make it? That's never been talked about. If that is a real stat, which I don't know, fact check that, guys, in research, but if that's a real stat, holy crap. Every single one of those doesn't even do anything to offset the carbon to make it.
And we'll be able to see that in real time soon. How old are the oldest windmills?
Well, they're getting
California, Arizona had them a while back. I mean, at least 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, might be coming up on that 20-year mark.
And what do you think would create the environment where you could move on to an alternative faster? One with stringent policy and red tape where you don't have access to readily available energy and it's more expensive? Or right now saying, okay, all right, we're going to need a replacement eventually. Let's let everyone be as efficient as possible and use the energy we have to get there faster. Hey! So it's two ways to look at it. You can also go check out, by the way, CrowderShop.com. If you want to go look at something, we have the Free Speech Matters shirt there because it still does. And if you're on Rumble, you know that you can watch this freely. If you're on YouTube, then you are in a social media ghetto.
Yeah, and if you're in the UK, right now is a really good time to have this Free Speech Matters shirt.
Yes, it is.
People are getting sent to prison for free
allowed.
speech right now. I think you can have the shirt, maybe. I don't know. Let's test that theory.
You can have the shirt, you just can't wear it or say it. Or
Speaking of someone who is not very pro free speech, although in this instance he tries to. So Bill Maher and Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of went at it. You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson is like the McDonald's of scientists. And
He's like the Ronald McDonald of science.
no, he's the McDonald's
he
in
gives back to
general
kids.
of scientists. The Jared. He's the Jared Coburn of scientists.
There you go.
And Bill Maher is always, he's always a day late and a dollar short, right? But now he acknowledges that, hey, we've gone so far with the left, like to say that there's no biological advantage between men and women in women's sports. And the left keeps saying these are not issues we care about, yet they still try and stand behind the policy. And you'll see this with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He could very easily, considering how much he's mocked Christians and you know, monotheists for a very long time, it should be just as easy for him to say, yeah, okay, there's obviously a biological difference between boys and girls. But he refused to concede that on the Bill Maher show. It's painful to watch, but remember, These are the people who told you to trust the science.
This is in Scientific American.
Yeah.
Less than a year ago. Inequity between male and female athletes is the result not of inherent biological differences between the sexes, but of biases in how they are treated in sports. That's nuts. And it sure ain't scientific, and it's in Scientific American. And that's why the Democrats lost the election. It's true.
Bill, every 20 minutes on your platform, you come up with another reason why the Democrats lost. You already have the answer. They lost the election. So anything you say
That's
is
not
why
true.
they did it.
Engage with the idea here. What I'm asking is, Scientific American is saying basically that the reason why an WNBA team can't beat the Lakers is because of societal bias.
What he's saying is not Scientific American says that. An editor for Scientific American says that, who no longer has the job.
The scandal is not the tweet. The
Okay, that was like a year ago, was it? Which one was a year ago?
I think a year ago, women still couldn't beat men in basketball or any other sport. And it wasn't because of society.
Just say the truth, Neil.
You don't see a
By the way,
problem here?
long distance swimming, women might actually have the
Oh, one example.
into that. Yeah.
Maybe long distance swimming,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
I've looked into it.
Well, I'm going to file you under part of the problem.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He's such an arrogant prick. He goes, I've looked into it. It's always, I know something you don't know. Okay. What do you know about boys and girls, males and females, that allows you to suggest that there's no biological advantage for males? Oh, I've looked into it. Okay. Tell me what you found, Neil. And people will tell you, you're not a scientist. You're right. I'm not. But I've got it in front of me. He makes the one exception. Okay, granted, the one exception. Long distance swimming, because it's really the only area where a higher body fat percentage allows for more buoyancy. All right, okay, you're not talking about a serious competitive sport. You're talking about basically Jack LaLanne swimming 2 yachts across the English Channel. It's a gimmick. Okay. When he says, I don't know that there are biological advantages for men, let me rattle these off for you really quick. Bone density, lung capacity, body fat percentage, percentage of fat twitch muscle fibers, the testosterone average levels in the male versus female body. For a man, it's between 300 to 1,200 nanograms per deciliter. For a woman, it's 20 to 70. You're not hearing that wrong. 300 to 1,200 nanograms per deciliter. For a woman, it is 20 to 70. In other words, the walking human pincushion on the Mr. Olympia stage, roided out of his mind, does not enjoy the hormonal advantage over any man in this room that we enjoy over the average woman, and it's not even close. So you looked into it, Neil. You looked into it. Tell me what it is that you found. I'm tired of this gatekeeping BS, and it's anti-scientific. When he talks, oh, we don't know. Okay, well, all right, so that's empirical. Let's go to the anecdotal then. We're talking about medals and records. 900 medals from over 600 female athletes. Records have been set by biological males in female sports. Weightlifting for men. Running, 200 meter, 300 meter. You look at swimming. You look at whether it's 200 yards, whether anything, every example shows us. Yeah, Sam, what are you doing here?
Stephen, I'm sorry. I have these forms you need to sign right now.
Sam, there is a time and a place for these things, and this is neither.
I am aware of that, and I am sorry, but it's the Mar Cheshvan potluck at the synagogue today, and I want to get everything done so I can
Sam
go.
from HR, if I had $1 for every time you did something good, I'd be living in a box.
Sam, you're like the computer update on the software update on my computer, except I can't click not now.
But it's good.
You're the kosher cloud ruining my sunny day, Sam.
If you were an inanimate object, you would be the shopping cart with the wobbly wheel that I run into a lamppost.
If we were all flavors of candy, you'd be ashtray.
And Sam, I'd love to draw a back for you. And your toaster.
Yes, I wish that every day was the holy day so that you would never talk to me again. Leave me the hell alone.
You know, that reminds me. I think I finally understand what the Palestinians were talking about.
Yep.
Look, if you want to hang out later, I've got some rope hanging out for you.
Yes, get out of here, Sam. You dirty dildo.
Leave! We don't want your kind, Sam. You stink! We don't want your kind.
Gerald, what do you mean we don't want your kind?
HR elites, Sam. What did you think?
Sam, stop. This is not. Don't make me get up and come across this task. No.
Yeah?
Look me in the eye. I will end you.
Really?
I will maim you.
This could be a heck of an HR violation.
Yeah, I will maim you, little man.
Little man?
Yes.
Who you call him little?
I think it's quite clear who I'm calling little.
Oh.
Don't test me.
Oh.
Don't.
Yeah?
Don't.
Yeah?
Take a little paper. Little man, little paper. Go.
This isn't over, Stephen.
Oh, I think it is over.
Oh, it's over, little man.
I think it's over.
HR elites.
I'm sorry.
Pisses me off.
You shouldn't have to see that.
The hell? Who gave him a key to the studio?
I don't know. I have no idea. And by the way, if you click that button, you get to join Member Premium, where you will make up for what just transpired. $99 annually, $99 a month. You get ad-free. You get this show. You get 100% more show every day. Friday, Donald Trump Jr. They just, can I say it?
Yes.
Oh, they now have Dr. Disrespect, one of the biggest gamers ever on the channel. Their Rumble, because free
Rumble
speech
Premium.
matters. Rumble Premium.
You get it.
You get it. You just, if you're watching right now, you get to continue watching seamlessly. Mug Club was the launching pad for this, and thank you so much. We now are building this out into a serious network and giving you value.
You know what we should do? We should do like a sign up thing where if we get enough people signing up for a premium, we'll fire Sam. We'll just deal with the HR.
We can't.
No,
it's considered. It's illegal. Okay.
No, I'll break the law.
That's fine. I know a very good bluff.
I think he has 10.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I don't know if you know this. You have some newly elected members of Congress.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. They're going into Washington,
Lots of
D.C.
Republicans, you said?
Yes, to set up their offices, get situated. And so there is right now an entire orientation going on for incoming members. And some of the guidelines or tips are quite embarrassing.
At the Capitol today, we got a look at some of the new members joining the House. Dozens of newly elected members of the U.S. House gathered for their class photo. Winners of the 2024 races are in D.C. for their 10-day orientation right now.
So here's Representative Susie Lee from Nevada circulated this helpful guide for new members, okay? And it includes suggestions. These are, you can check the references. These are all real. It includes unwind in the women's reading room, if you're a woman, I assume.
I don't think that's up to the interpretation.
Yeah. Here's order your sweet green salad by 11 if you want it for lunch. It just assumes that people want a salad because, you know, they're to ride your bike. Just in general, ride your bike, to take time for yourself. I don't know about you. I think that the recesses, they take enough time for themselves. You're on the taxpayer's dime. Take as little time for yourself as humanly possible. Put your nose to the grindstone and get to work.
Yeah, it seems like something you should be doing instead of writing a list of tips.
Yes, but they wrote a lot of them, which actually brings us to, we've actually procured more. 7+1 tips for incoming House members. That's this week, 7+1.
You forgot to run in the chamber.
7+1 tips for new members on the Hill. Number 7, if Ilhan Omar calls you brother, it means she likes you.
She really likes you.
Number 6, Josh.
For a good time, call Lauren Boebert.
Hey, that could be some sweet green salads.
Oh, come on.
Or a movie. But do it by 11.
7+1 tips for new members on the Hill. Number 5, Gerald.
No laser pointers on the Senate floor. It really distracts Mitch McConnell.
Well, yeah, we don't want to. Also, no
triggering,
no anime. No anime. Number 4, all live sacrifices must be submitted in writing and approved by Chuck Schumer. Well, that's just...
It makes sense.
That's just
you wouldn't know that
procedural.
without this list. You wouldn't know
control it.
Yeah.
Another tip, number 3, Josh.
Congressional members are limited to a per diem of 2 Nancy Pelosi motorboats per day.
Maximum, yep, that's true.
Maximum 2. Maximum 2 Nancy motorboats per day.
It's a maximum. But when you add it up
She
with all
gets
the
tired.
members,
She's an old
it's a
lady,
lot.
so, yeah.
It's a lot. She probably would do well with long-distance swimming.
I was going to say, yeah. Neil deGrasse did he looked into her.
Yes.
Very buoyant.
7+1 tips to new members on the Hill. Number 2, don't accept Elizabeth Warren's peace pipe. It's just crack.
It's always crack, every time. Yeah.
It's because she's Indian,
Yeah,
you know?
I guess it's just, I would avoid it. And the number 1 new tip for those on the Hill, don't accept, no, wait, I just read that one. Number 1, no Apple Jacks allowed in the cafeteria. They don't even taste like apples.
Bullshit.
And +1, actually, Gerald.
Do not sleep with Chinese spies unless you want to.
Unless you want to. Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, that's the thing.
That's the
you
thing.
won't get voted out of Congress.
That has been this week's 7+1.
You forgot to run in the chamber.
All right, I'm not going to get to the topic of...
Good tips.
What?
We're going to the topic of...
You
what's
hear
that? What's that clanking?
It sounds like weights.
Is someone using the gym while we're in the...
Why would they do that?
Are they back there? Can we check in the office?
Yeah, check it out.
Kill Steven. Kill
The Jacked Up Fitness sponsorship bit me in the ass.
It really did. We might.
Oh.
We're not gonna have to worry about
That's
that guy
okay.
though.
Sam, you have about 30 years to make up for it.
He's only benching 25.
Yeah, he's got 25.
Yeah, I bet his waves look like shit under that do-rag.
Don't worry. I think
Exception to the testosterone rule.
I got some pre-workout right here.
There you go.
I got something
Nice
for you.
little
Sam.
bottle.
Really excited about this, a new sponsorship, Jacked Up Fitness. And I will tell you, guys, if we run this video, if you're looking for something this holiday season, all their stuff has a lifetime warranty. It's all 10, 12 gauge steel. Their Evolution is a home gym that has everything you could possibly want. It's a squat rack, so all that, you can do all of your freestanding barbell stuff, but it also has a Smith machine built in that loads up on the stack.
Yeah.
So, for example, I have a small space in my garage where I have enough space for this, but I don't have enough space to load plates to the side. And this is perfect. You still get all the weight in there. It fits in a corner where you don't have to worry about walking around. It's the best, I will say this, home gym on the market. And I know because I moved to a new house and there are only 2, maybe 3 on earth that have this feature. And theirs is the best by far. There's actually a Black Friday sale right now, 20% off site-wide. Go to getjackedup.com. Lifetime guarantee. Getjackedup.com, 20% off. If you want to buy one now and never have to worry about upgrading, changing, you have everything you need to get free weight barbell squats, Smith machine cables, everything you could possibly want from a commercial gym at home and fit it in a small space. I tell you, it's the best home gym that exists. Period. And the quality is unbelievable.
100% is. I lift on it now. We got rid of everything in there and put all of that in there. And I'm a simple guy. I just need a bench and dumbbell or barbells. Go and you can put that there too. They've got every accessory you could possibly need.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
But if you have like I have something to get an injury where you want to have something that's a machine,
Smith's great. All of it.
What's great about it is like that Smith. It's just you just set the pin if you need to use it. You can get something done really quickly.
Yeah.
So getcheckedup.com. Use the promo. It's 20% off site wide. You don't need a promo code.
Site wide 20% off.
Just go. Good company. Have the balls to sponsor the show. Yeah. Hey, let's go to Denver, where actually has the lowest has the lowest obesity rates, but that's also because they have the highest meth.
I thought it was the highest Olympic rate.
Sorry, I don't know.
They say they have the best pizza too.
Do they?
What?
No, they don't. I eat pizza there.
Nobody says that about Denver.
Denver says that.
No, do they really?
Yeah, they're real full of themselves.
Let me set this up because the mayor is a moron. So I don't know if you remember June 5th, 1989, Tiananmen Square, right? This lone man stood in front of an oncoming tank in Tiananmen Square in Beijing, China. It's overlay C, where you can bring it up. He, along with thousands of citizens, were maybe killed, right? They were protesting for their rights in China. That was a big deal. It's a famous image. Now, the Denver mayor wants a repeat of this, but his stand is to make sure that illegal immigrants can harm you, the citizens of Denver. So he actually issued this statement, I believe it was in an interview, in response to Donald Trump's mass deportation, again, which most Americans support and is constitutionally not only permitted, but would be encouraged. He said, it's like the Tiananmen Square moment with the rose and the gun, right? You'd have every one of those Highland moms who came out for the migrants, and you do not want to mess with them, saying they would be in the streets and they would be fighting the federal authorities if they tried to deport illegal immigrants. And they have a real problem in Denver with violent felons because of illegal immigration. Then he tried to walk it back on Saturday, but he didn't really because he's a moron, he's a fascist, and he doesn't care about you.
Are you open to sending Denver police officers to the county line to stop federal forces or National Guardsmen from other states from coming into Denver?
We have no plan to do that, and we really hope that we don't ever have to do that.
Sounds to me like you're walking back the comments from a couple days ago saying that you would be willing to send Denver police officers. Do you regret making those comments and now getting questions like this?
Would I have taken it back if I could? Yes, I probably wouldn't have used that image because that's an image I hope we can avoid. What I was trying to say is this is an outcome I hope we can avoid in this country. I think none of us want that.
Trump's new borders, Tom Holman, has said that he is willing to arrest leaders like yourself for standing in the way of these policies that they want to enact. Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that.
Good.
And I'm also not seeking that. I think the goal is we want to be able to negotiate with reasonable people how to solve hard problems.
You would encourage people to protest?
I think we're going to look at every option, but yeah, I don't think that there are, I talked to some high school kids this week who were terrified about this. I don't think those kids are going to stand there and watch 3 of their classmates get pulled out of a history class with the 27 stand by and do nothing. I don't think that's what Denverites or Americans would do in this country.
Well, hold on a second. Let me tell you what Americans don't want. You may not know this, but this also coincides with policy from the left, for example, in Denver and mass migration. Average monthly crime in Denver is up 43% since 2019. Since 2019, aggravated assault up 38%, property crime 61%, 80%. Auto theft, 71%. So when this guy says we'll stand in the way, what he means is he will stand in the way of the elected government doing their job to protect you. 43% monthly crime since 2019. Is this man serving you? You do have to ask yourself, at a certain point when we are talking about deporting, right now, just deporting violent felons, that's what we're starting with. Violent felons, known criminals.
Right.
And you have mayors willing to make a stand, you have to ask why. Why are they protecting them? And then, why do they have this martyr complex where they view themselves as the freedom protesters in Tiananmen Square? This is actual psychosis.
Well, and the thing that he said that you saw me kind of react and you looked over, it's because he said we will negotiate to solve these hard problems. I'm like, hold on. There is no negotiation.
Right.
This is a federal issue, right? In Texas, we weren't allowed to put barbed wire up to make sure that people couldn't come into this state illegally.
Right.
So this is a federal issue. The border is one of the limited purviews of government that they actually have a right to go down and do. When they come a knocking and say you've got illegal immigrants here and we know you're doing something illegal, there is no negotiation. There's move aside so that we can take lawbreakers out of the country. You don't like it? You're ready and prepared to go to jail for this? Fantastic.
Yeah.
That deal is taken. Go to jail.
Well, when they say, they try and think about this, just it's really easy to take their own comparisons and make them realistic. They go, well, what? You're going to ask people for papers and deport them? It's just like Nazi Germany. I don't remember a bunch of Jews fighting to get into Nazi Germany.
Yeah, they also didn't get out unless it was, dead.
Yeah.
So
they didn't get an all-expenses paid trip back to their home country that they fled. So a little bit different, but National Socialists do what they be. And here's the thing: the left right now, they are the Chinese government, not only because they're buddy-buddy with the Chinese government, but they are actively harming citizens. Citizens elected Donald Trump, just so you know, as protest. In protest of the administration, in protest of the policy, wanting deportation, wanting a wall to be built. The vote for Donald Trump, the record vote, was a protest vote against the direction of the country. These people are the man, they are the authority, and let's look at who they actually hurt when in charge. Fairfax County, Virginia. An illegal alien from Honduras was arrested for sexual assault 4 days after being released from jail. The reason that matters is because the government had this person, the government knew this person, the government could have stopped this person. They released said person to hurt and sexually assault an American citizen.
Like he was begging for prison time. It was like he's begging to be arrested. He's like, well, I gotta do something.
In Lowell, Massachusetts, one illegal alien from Guatemala was suspected of raping a minor, released right back into the community. The governor said they will not cooperate with mass deportations. Just like the Fairfax County the cooperation was, we're not going to be cooperating with the Fed. So right here, so hold on a second. So you're releasing rapists, sex offenders into society with tax-paying citizens, and then telling the federal government, we're going to continue to harbor
you go to
these criminals.
You go to jail for them. Let's be very specific. He was asked, will you send the police to the county line? And he was like, yeah. When he asked to walk it back, he's like, well, that's a scenario we don't have any plans to do. But he didn't say clearly, these people are not just willing to not cooperate. They're willing to use local police or go to jail to defend people like that.
Nassau County, New York. Here's another one. Illegal alien, Honduras. Again, noticing a trend. Skipped an immigration hearing, then raped a 5-year-old girl. New York State, they said, we're not going to help the feds arrest illegal immigrants. Oh, tell it to the 5-year-old girl's parents.
They will.
Think about this for a second. They really think of themselves as This is why I don't think the left can recorrect. Unless the public opinion changes, we're like, yeah, no, we feel bad for these illegal alien criminals here. And I just don't think it's going to. They can't help but keep slamming their pecker in a door jam. They just keep harming themselves. In the end, this mayor thinks that he's going to be the citizen protesting the government, trampling on the rights, but he doesn't realize he's the one driving the tank. That's who he is. Yeah.
You should watch the road. This guy's all over the place.
The key takeaway here is whenever the left virtue signals, whenever they're out there busy virtue signaling, whether it's Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't know about biology and men and women's sports, when they're virtue signaling, someone is suffering for real. When they're virtue signaling, I will go to jail to protect illegal aliens, someone's being raped. When they virtue signal, oh, hold on a second, I don't want to, look at me, I care about women, 10 to 15,000 late-term abortions, meaning third trimester, between 7 and 9 months, are being killed every single year. When they're out there virtue signaling, someone is dying. Oh, gun-free zones. Over 90% of mass shootings occur in gun-free zones. When the left virtue signals, when they try and tell you how righteous they are, someone is dying or being hurt as a direct result of their policy. Do you understand that? You can comment if you disagree. Go check out the references for this very show. It'll blow your mind. And by the way, word of Donald Trump's mass deportation plan has been circulating and actually has caused mass panic at the border. We have a live feed right now.
Still can't find them.
Still can't find them.
Crime
That is
up 43%. You said 43% since 2019? That's crazy considering
monthly crime. Yeah.
Wow. And that's when he took off. That's crazy considering their mayor is the officer from Beverly Hills Cop.
Right, yes. Yes.
Or the stepdad from Santa Claus.
Pretty much. His hair, Neil. He's
Yeah,
Neil.
Neil.
Look at that graph. Bring up that graph again. Every time someone, I want you to picture this graph, whether it's, just keep it, whether it's crime, whether it's gun crime, whether it's illegal immigration, whether it's late-term abortion rates. What? While this is up, someone is saying, I will go to jail to make sure that this graph continues. I will go to jail to make sure that crime graph continues. That's what he's saying. When they're virtue signaling, someone is dying, someone is being raped, someone is being victimized. This whole fake victim culture creates real victims. When they're virtue signaling about fat pride, all bodies are healthy. Someone's dying of diabetes, or at least losing a foot.
Yeah, and I hope this guy does go to jail. I hope he does fight back and goes to jail.
Yep.
And then he has to go to county and then realize, oh shoot, these are the people that I should be keeping in here.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he probably raped.
You're fascinating to talk to.
That's what a cellmate's gonna say in county.
Were you about to say something, Noodles?
No.
Okay. And this is also why I've told you it's going to get dirtier, but it's going to get more secretive because the left knows that eyes are on them and that what they are selling isn't working. If you go and listen, and I encourage you to do this, go and listen to leftist shows, podcasts, CNN, MS, all of them. They're never talking about how maybe they're wrong or on the wrong side of history. It's how do we change the packaging to trick people so we can shoehorn this in? It's going to get a lot worse. They just may appear on the surface to be behaving, which is why I'm asking you out there. We're crowdsourcing this. If you see something, fraud, waste, abuse, corruption, the public being lied to, you can send a tip, lwctips@protonmail.com. The Mug Club undercover team, they will track it down. They will actually protect their sources. We will be willing to go to jail for our sources. You saw it with the Nashville Manifesto. You saw it with the DOJ story. lwctips@protonmail.com. It's going to go underground, which means it's going to be more dangerous. Please trust me on this. And
I love the undercover team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually brought them with me. I hope it's okay. I brought them with me to my latest audition. I auditioned for The Prestige. Oh. And Jim, do you have the footage that they sent me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, please send in the next audition. Okay, so you are reading for the role of Robert. I got that. You are reading for the role of Robert Angier in The Prestige remake.
Yeah. Should I go now?
Please.
Okay. Do you like what? I don't know what kind of trick do you want me to do? Like a card trick?
I heard y'all were looking for somebody to play in The Prestige.
Yeah. And thank you for wearing costumes. No one does that anymore.
No problem. I wear it every day.
He does.
I don't remember that.
No,
Well,
he
it's
never
festive.
watches it.
It's the magician from Frosty. Busy. Now let's go to
That hack.
Let me ask you this.
This is the mustache.
When did the left change to become the party of war? And I'm going to go through some historical examples because the only justification that I've seen in supporting this war with Ukraine, Russia, is, do you know how evil Putin is? Which forced me to really go back through history and all the major wars and all the ones the left protest. No, wait, Saddam Hussein was evil. Wait, Ho Chi Minh and Viet Cong were evil. Wait a second. Al Qaeda, yeah, it doesn't hold water. But that is the argument they make. Well, really, though, at this point, why would you not support a war for freedom? All wars in some capacity, there's one party somewhat fighting for freedom. So I wanted to ask you, when you thought it changed, and does the left believe anything that they actually say anymore? Where's Code Pink? I haven't heard from you. Joe Rogan also, we talked about this last week, touched on it. And then on his show with, I believe, Scott Storch?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan gave his take on the Ukraine situation as well.
How are you allowed to do that when you're on the way out? Like, the people don't want you to be there anymore. This should be like some sort of a pause for like significant actions that could potentially start World War III. Maybe that would be a good thing that we would like to avoid from a dying former president. It's the whole thing is nuts.
I mean, look, I don't know shit about politics.
Zelensky says Putin's terrified.
I just came here to get high, bro.
Fuck you, man. You people. You people are about to start World War III. So it's even more scary. People don't want him in power. And the people that are in power don't want to leave power, and they'll try every way they can to keep it. 60 days from today. All right. 60 days.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, just hope Putin understands what's going on as well, and Zelensky doesn't do anything stupid.
And sorry, that guy's a complete waste of space in this conversation. Man, I don't know.
Hey, that's not his fault. He didn't want to talk about it. He was trying to get off the subject.
Keep your fingers crossed and stay high.
Yeah.
You know, keep calm, smoke on.
Damn, Joe, I didn't know you'd get into like politics.
Yeah.
Jeez, bro.
But
Yeah, I don't know, man. Life's a garden dig-it, brother. I don't know what to tell you.
Something about chives and shit.
That's awesome.
So, and again, I was at a Christmas lighting ceremony, and this lady was saying, peace. We were all about community, and holding up the peace symbol. Do we all agree? I want you to do this right now, and just comment if you do this. Every time a leftist or a liberal does this symbol anymore, you go, get the
Well,
swat that away,
That's a crime.
figuratively.
Yeah.
But just tell them, put that down. Put that
There you
down.
go. There you
You
go.
voted for war. You voted for war. You know what, Mission Control, let's do this tomorrow. Let's add up the actual death toll under Donald Trump's administration from new conflict started. I get what happened in Yemen. You're never going to have complete zero peace. But as far as starting new conflicts on a significant scale, the most peaceful president ever. We know it because we saw it, and he promised peace again while this country was proxy funding a war. The left, anyone who voted for Kamala Harris, anyone who voted for Joe Biden, no longer gets to use this as their symbol. You are the party. You are the political ideology of war. The only people who supported this war, and I don't mean looking at both sides, which one should do, but full-throated, hundreds of billions of dollars for Ukraine, blank check, have been neocons, the people the left claim to hate, and Democrats. Come on.
We're advancing this goal by providing them the support Ukraine needs now in the battlefield and helping them strengthen their military over the long term. The fact of the matter is that I believe we'll have the funding necessary to support Ukraine as long as it takes.
As president, I will stand strong with Ukraine and our NATO allies.
We must elevate these stories and call Vladimir Putin out for what he is. He is a misogynistic, evil dictator.
Why'd you start with that?
Standing together against
What?
a murderous dictator. Pure
Of
thug,
all of his faults,
waging an immoral war against the
This is
people of
muscle
Ukraine.
memory.
If we get the package, they will win. If they don't get the package, they will lose. And if they lose,
Look up, Chuck.
the consequences to the West are enormous.
Thank you for your fight for freedom, that we're on a fight
Oh,
for
freedom.
that your fight is a fight for everyone.
He's thinking about his two motorboats per day.
Before and after lunch.
It's obvious he refuses to criticize Vladimir Putin, a war criminal.
How can a party claim to stand for liberty if it sees a fight for freedom in Ukraine? An attack pitting tyranny against democracy. A challenge to everything our nation claims to be.
So,
and it retreats.
a couple of things. No, retreat is what you do with your boyfriends on the weekend. Here's a couple of things. It's not a fight of democracy versus tyranny. Putin tyrannical? Okay, yes. Ukraine it was the money laundering capital of the world. A government was installed.
It's canceled elections.
Yeah, it's two bastards fighting. Let's be. I'm not talking about the people. I am talking about the leadership. Putin leadership, yes, bad. Zelensky, Ukraine leadership, yes, bad. Just ask his 19 yachts.
Yeah.
Are you starting to get the picture? Yes. And by the way, Putin is brutal. Before I get to Putin, they say a war. How can you not support these people fighting for freedom?
Freedom,
Have you been to Africa? You've been anywhere across the Middle East, Persia, right? Do you understand that there are plenty, in other words, there are plenty of wars right now going on where people are fighting for their freedom, and no one in the States gives a shit.
Right, exactly.
But Ukraine, you talk, well, hold on a second, now we're talking about, well, not only energy, we're talking about money laundering, we're talking about some favors being owed, we're talking about trying to set a stable sort of ally base there, and all right, we'll look the other way with some of the corruption that we know has taken place. You guys understand this, right? The entire world outside of this country has people fighting, clawing for basic freedoms that you enjoy every day. It's not unique to Ukraine.
Right. And by the way, look, that kind of thinking, I get Russia bad on a different level than Ukraine bad, in my opinion, right?
Sure.
You know, murderous.
I would agree.
Okay, exactly, right? But still, it's not like it's pro-democracy George Washington versus, you know, the evil Brits or something like that coming over trying to, you know, take us back. But his kind of thinking, saying that at the DNC, where it's a freedom fight, that's the kind of thinking that would literally lead you into battle in 50 countries.
Immediately.
You know, like, it's the stupidest thing that ever, and the Democrats there are applauding, and I'm like, do they know what they're applauding? Do they have any idea what they're doing?
Yeah, I don't know how he can say that, tyrannical versus democracy, when they don't even believe in elections.
Yes, a very good point.
So, I mean, at least in the other country, they're having fake elections. Yeah, we all know that if you oppose Putin, you're going to go to prison and die, but
I got 98%, and there is plus minus 2% error.
He's like, I would end the war today, but Zelensky told me to hold off so he could stay in power so long.
I would end the war today, but I met with Zelensky, and he asked to hold my winner when I use urinal. Talks are off.
Yeah.
Go talk to him.
Yeah. Putin gave a speech. He's like, you like me. You really, really like me.
But you know, so they make so that's BS. Okay, let's just dispel that. But then the one that they really focus on is Putin is brutal. He's evil. Do you support Putin? Right? It's like new McCarthyism. Like I've said, none of you actually support Putin or our Russian assets. You just say, hey, we don't want to be involved in this conflict to this degree that may never end. But their justification is this is different. Yes, we were always anti-war, but now Putin, evil. So we're pro-fighting him. Okay, let's go back throughout history here and see if this is at all historically consistent. Vietnam. Right? Vietnam is one of the prime examples of the left of peace, you know, peace-loving hippies, right? Daisy and the rifle. Wish it would have blown out the back of that hand. Let's look.
Let's just think of the Lizzo.
Were there evil? Hold on a second. Was there an evil that was oppressing people similar to Putin there in Vietnam? Oh, you guys know about Ho Chi Minh and the Viet Cong?
Sure, brutal.
The leader of the North Vietnamese, right? You guys know Ho Chi Minh? You guys have heard of also Ho Chi Minh Trail, all this. Brutal dictator, arrested, executed, non-communist journalists, any political opponents. He referred to political opponents famously. This is one of his quotes. He said, all those who do not follow the line that I have set out will be smashed. The Viet Cong, extremely brutal. They would torture prisoners of war. They would dislocate limbs. They would shove bamboo wood chips under the nails. They would feed people alive to fire ants, right? This was brutal. It was oppressive. It was communism. And there were people who didn't want to live under it, very similar. And by the way, something else that's not lost on, don't know if you know this, the left was protesting, right, the war in Vietnam, and I'm not making the case that any of these wars are justified. I'm just pointing out what the left protested versus what they justify now. Here's kind of the kicker. You do know that communists in Vietnam were backed by the USSR, right? A much more powerful than today Russia, right? So you have that bullshit also. But look at the protests back then, Vietnam backed by the USSR, and where the left, who today support the war with Ukraine because of freedom, let's see how they treated said war against evil.
One of the largest peace demonstrations in history was held last October in Washington. More than 50,000 persons took part, and thousands of them marched on the Pentagon to protest the war.
I think I just saw Forrest Gump.
Oh, we have a protester.
Okay, everybody is back! Everybody is back! They want in the women! They want in the women!
Pull trigger! Pull trigger! Ah!
Guns still fire with flowers in the barrel.
Yes, they do.
Like, he didn't think this through.
I'm stopping with flower power.
Yeah. And my hand's gone. And by the way, of course, there was the media blackout. It was always negative. Right, negative to the point where people were spitting on troops when they came home. In 1972, the United States media completely ignored some South Vietnamese victories. You can look 73 through 75. Democrat-controlled Congress pulled a lot of funding from the South Vietnamese. It was turned into a quagmire because we went into a war, but because of the protests from the left, again, because they didn't think there should be any engagement with the USSR-backed Ho Chi Minh and North Vietnamese, the media had to black it out, and the media had to vilify the American military. So I just understand, how is that different from, there was evil then? Let's continue, Desert Storm. All right, let's go into Desert. Let's walk through all of these. If there's a comparison, if there was an evil dictator, don't know if you know about Desert Storm. Saddam Hussein, yeah, that was the first one, right? Invaded Kuwait. Remember that? They killed thousands of people, or at least hundreds of Kuwaiti civilians, right? Shia, Kurdish Iraqis, they were killed too, thousands of them, under the brutal oppression of Saddam Hussein.
People, right? Wasn't that what he did to the Kurds?
Yes. Yeah, gas people, gas the Kurds, use biological weapons. And what did the left do when Desert Storm happened? Well, here you go. We have some links for you. They said that they were war crimes in Desert Storm. That Americans were committing terrorism by bombing infrastructure there and civilian infrastructure to limit Saddam, right? Because of that, and I remember this, the left always used to say, well, at least, George Bush was an idiot, both senior and junior, because at least when Saddam was in charge, at least those strong men keep it in check, and now the void has been filled by something worse. Does that not apply to Putin? Which brings us back again to Iraq another time, and Afghanistan. Now we're dealing with Al-Qaeda, and then, of course, Saddam Hussein. What happened here? Saddam Hussein, for the number, killed 250,000 of his own people. Al-Qaeda, 9/11, right? Not only that, Taliban. When you're looking at Osama bin Laden, I get that the war wasn't just fought for those reasons, and I think that many people were right in opposing the war in Iraq. The issue is the left at this point in time, when you were still dealing with the same kind of evil as Vladimir Putin, Saddam Hussein, Ho Chi Minh, right? They actually blamed George W. Bush for 1 million dead, right? They talked about how he was a war criminal. 2008, Dennis Kucinich, he actually introduced some articles of impeachment over the war.
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar described this war as some people did something. And you may not remember this if you didn't grow up in the early 2000s, but every single band, every single actor, every single compilation, there were entire benefit concerts to call George W. Bush a Nazi and Hitler specifically over foreign wars against evil, brutal dictators.
We live in a time where we have a man sending us to war for fictitious reasons, whether it's the fictitious of duct tape or the fictitious of orange alerts. We are against this war, Mr. Bush. Shame on you, Mr. Bush.
And this current administration,
Rage Against the Machine.
They should be hung and tried.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he said that.
It's George W. Bush. Actually, my name is Ass.
End of your career.
At least the last one, I mean, it wasn't about specific things. It was just after president, which I can get behind.
Yeah, perpetuate the angry black man stereotype.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I like it.
It makes good music. And
F. Child's Boy.
2000, by the way, Rage Against the Machine. Same people. I don't know if it's same people who endorsed Barack Obama. Same people, Tom Morello, who support Joe Biden. The same people who wear the Che Guevara shirt, the communist revolutionary who, by the way, executed people without trial because they somehow think the system is then voted precisely for the system. Where's the no war stance? In 2003, there was a whole No FX album. Again, I had the album, War on Errorism. Right? There was a whole Rock Against Bush, this tour. Right? You had the System of a Down song, the BYOB.
That's where it comes from?
It was everywhere. And it was predicated on they weren't protesting George W. Bush's domestic policy or taxes.
Oh, they were making money.
It was all about the war.
Yes.
It was all about the war. I'm just asking, hey, does this meet the standard here where today the left all of a sudden says, well, no, we're pro only this war because Putin is really, really bad. That makes no sense. It's intellectually dishonest. The left doesn't care about you. They don't care about the state of this country. They care about just saying no if Republicans say anything, if conservatives say anything. It's really an act, I think, at this point, reverse psychology. They were going, we don't want war, we don't. And Donald Trump said, I don't want war.
Whoa.
We want it. We want it.
They flipped over very quickly. And by the way, like the neocons have been the ones driving over to the Democrat Party from Republicans, obviously with Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. But two things. I have an admonishment for you, and I also have, it's light, don't worry. I also have an answer on Code Pink. Apparently, they're pro-China shills. China is not our enemy. They've moved on.
Are you shitting me? For those of you who don't remember, Code Pink were the women who would chain themselves to protest wars. I think sometimes they would have their boobs out. And now
I think you have to.
For people who don't remember, this was the thing. Remember Code Pink? They always had representatives.
Yes.
For like 10 years, you had two people who you were guaranteed would show up for any interview in cable news. Someone from Code Pink and someone from the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh,
but the problem was finding one without a flipper.
They couldn't do that. Yeah.
Research specifically says they're actually funded by the CCP.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say it sounds like you have. Can I see that the graphic again?
Code Pink.
It feels like you have to read it like this. China is another enemy.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. That's how it reads.
There's gonna be a commercial from
China is a very friendly.
Hey, very good.
China good for you. China good for me. China good for everyone.
Oh, would you like me to park your car?
I'm a good overlord.
China very
They
good.
just replace a club with the sandals ad, like, sandals. I mean China.
Sandals.
Come have fun.
Please take off your sandals and you'll come in.
All right, so get the admonishment.
All right,
ready.
get the admonishment.
Apparently, the whole yacht story with Zelensky was an AI
I
article.
just said 19.
He said 19. No one.
I didn't mean actual yachts.
Come on.
Well, look at those eyes. He's got a lot of coke.
I
That's
could have just said check his investment
But
portfolio.
you didn't.
I didn't.
so
All right, admonishment.
therefore-
Go ahead, admonishment.
Also, check.
That's not an admonishment. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
no, you know what? Comment the admonishment. Did anyone out there actually believe that Zelensky had 19 yachts?
No, nobody did.
Listen.
I believe it. I believe he's got at least 19 pair of those green cargo pants, though.
Yes, he does. That's all he wears.
Yeah, or just one. I don't know what's going on.
I think
he should use that money for some hair treatment on his beard, though.
Yes.
I'd tell you that, because it's not coming in thick.
I think he's just in the war now for the wardrobe. He's like, I look good in this.
This is just more big Old Navy at play, I think. And by the way, we're going to continue. We're going to obviously play Hipster or Hobo today on Rumble Premium. You can click that button, join up, you get another full 45 minutes to hour of show. We're really supposed to only do 45 and 45, but we always do more. And then the Friday show, Nick DePaul, of course, every day Donald Trump Jr., now Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
It's an ad-free, all completely ad-free, and we'll be taking your chats. And as I understand it, you guys were sending me something that had taken place while I was, since I've been here. What was it?
Yeah. There's like a This Week in Biden or something, maybe?
Okay. Something else has happened here with Joe Biden. So this is coming in as I speak. Let's go to This Week in Biden.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
Every time my wife thinks I'm getting out of hand, she says I'm going to call him and have him send you to space.
Do you experience anti-Soviet thinking, overvaluing freedom, or delusions of reformism? This is telltale signs of sluggish schizophrenia. Ask your doctor about Gulag. Do you have hopes of freedom? Gulag. Do you believe that life matters? Gulag. Do you have dissenting opinion? Take Gulag. Do you say right now to yourself, I have broken no law, nor am I political dissident? You get extra Gulag. Side effects may include Gulag. And in rare cases, moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. See if Gulag is right for you.
Click Rumble Premium and join now for $99 annually or $9.99 a month to get the entirely ad-free experience and exclusive content from Louder with Crowder, Nick DePaul, Mr. Guns and Gear, Donald Trump Jr., and an ever-expanding roster of content, creators, and free speech. Oh, just as we come in, an attack chopper decided to fly overhead. Busy morning because we have a lot to get to. We have Mark Mitchell on the show today of Rasmussen Reports, Rasmussen Polling. You may be familiar. He's the guy, pretty much, he's the head honcho over there. Got it closest in this last election, and then, of course, was immediately accused of colluding from the leftists who got it wrong.
I haven't heard that yet.
So we're going to talk with him, and he actually believes that there were some people. He has a strong case to be made. He'll be on the show today to talk about how some other pollsters may have actually been colluding. Iowa. And we also have an exclusive Mug Club Undercover, a leaked email from NASA. Today you'll see it for the very first time, where they are very, over there at NASA, afraid of Donald Trump and what will happen in our space program with DEI. That's a real email.
Still.
So we'll get to it. Russia, Ukraine, some stuff is going on. Some people are saying World War III. There's a new development. Did you know this? When we talk about this, that Putin has said, this is according to Reuters, he may be able to sit down and de-escalate and talk about a ceasefire, but only with Donald Trump. So let me ask you, do you think that that means Donald Trump is a puppet of Putin? Or does Donald Trump deserve some credit if he helps us avoid World War III?
Thank you very much.
We have some predictions to make too. We also have a 7+1 because David Hogg has hosted an actual conference asking young men what they want and trying to woo them back to the Democratic Party.
They said more Hogg.
Yeah. It's like,
wait, no.
I'm not a young man, so.
He's the leader.
So we'll be talking about David Hogg. He is of age now, so it's perfectly
You
fine
make fun
to
of him, yeah.
insult him, which means at some point today you may see this. Head on over to Rumble. I don't know why you're watching on YouTube. It's a live show, weekdays, 10 a.m., nothing up our sleeves, and including tomorrow, if you're on Rumble Premium. All right, Captain Morgan, number 2, CEO, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Just we have so much to get to.
You just go fast then.
And then we have, of course, you know him, you love him. You hear this? December 1st, Avenue Tattoo Studio, Lawton, Oklahoma. Mr. Firestein, how are you?
I'm good. I like it raw. Let's go.
Hey, there are kids watching. By the way,
Onions.
this is a strong. I hate
vegetables.
You're crazy.
I only like onions if
Eat
they're grilled or
tacos.
sauteed. Comment below. Raw onions.
You got pickles? You don't like pickled onions?
No, I like pickled. I said raw onions. I was very specific, and I chose my words carefully.
Josh and I are aligned on this. Sauteed sucks, bro. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, well, go form your own raw onion NATO, which
At least 2 versus 2 on that.
yeah, and pay your fair share.
I won't.
Right off the bat, we have an exclusive here. This is an email that we captured, circulating from NASA. This is Mug Club Undercover. All right. This is now.
Why are you laughing?
I'm gonna front. It's not like Jay Varma locking you down while he's having sex parties, or the DOJ representative saying, "Yeah, we're simply trying to weaponize the DOJ against Donald Trump."
We have the Diddy party list?
But no, we do not. But this is a lot of fun.
This is, yeah.
So, this is an email that was sent to employees at the Johnson Space Center, and it included a section titled "What Trump's Second Term Could Mean for DEI." And I believe, and they're very concerned about DEI. They're very concerned about people being on the chopping block. They're very concerned that some people will be negatively affected. And actually, we can confirm most heavily affected immediately were the promptly fired, not so hidden figures. They were, yeah.
Wait, we didn't even change.
No, we didn't change it. I don't even know. I don't even know if I believe that there was that much